Go.
Well, we were shelling, and all of a sudden somebody said there's a seal in the water, and we looked out, and all of a sudden the creature came in, and it turned out that it was an otter, and it started chasing the children that were on the beach. And the children thought that this was like a game, so they were playing, like running around, and the thing was going crazy, chasing them all over. So, you know, I always thought that otters were friendly animals, so I thought, like a seal, and I thought, well, maybe it is playing, who knows, you know. So I said, oh, I'm going to take a picture of it. So I got out my telephone, and I set up the camera, and I put it on video, and I went like this, and I zoomed in, and all of a sudden, the thing saw me at about, I had to be at least 15 feet away. The kids were right next to it. But all of a sudden it saw me, and it just charged at me, and it started running around my feet doing like figure eights, and then it attacked me, and it was biting and biting, and finally it latched on in the one bad spot down there, and it wouldn't let go. So I was flailing, and I'm kicking, which is what you see in the original video, trying to get it off of my leg, and it was like in the air, swinging back and forth. And finally, it let go, but it came right back at me, and it grabbed my foot through my shoe, and it was holding on there. And that's when my friend Wes came over, and I had had a shelling scoop, and he picked it up, and he started beating the otter to get it to let go of me. And he finally did get it to release, but it kept trying to come back at us. And I mean, he was standing there for a good... Oh, what would you say, Wes? 3 minutes?
Yeah,
3 minutes maybe, or more, hitting this thing, and it just would not back off. It wouldn't retreat. And finally, he was like pushing it with, you know, trying to push it away, and he got it to go into the water, and now I'm bleeding all over the place from the wound. And he ends up getting it back in the water, and he turns around to come back, and we're all trying to get off the beach, along with all these people and their children, because I was screaming, and and everybody was looking, and it turns out the otter came back out of the water and started chasing us again.
Just missed me.
So we headed for the stairs, and my husband is disabled, so he's very, very slow, and he has to take one step at a time. And meanwhile, behind me, I'm watching my husband, and they're yelling, "It's coming!" and it's coming up the stairs.
Came up the stairs right after me. It was about 4 feet from me.
So then, after that, it went into the bushes, and we finally got up to the stairs. And by that point, I was like an emotional mess, and my leg was bleeding all over, and the pain was like ridiculous. So we called the police. We called the Marine Patrol. Actually, I take that back. I did not call. There was a family, and the grandmother is a local. She called for us because I was all shaking and whatever. And it took, I would say, about 20 minutes to a half hour for them to arrive. And then we're trying to give them the report, and the police officer informs us that they had numerous complaints about this thing the day before. And they never shut down the beach. They never did anything. It was chasing people the day before. But obviously it didn't catch anybody until it got me. So I was kind of like, well, that's really odd. But then the Marine officer said the exact same thing, that there were numerous complaints about people being chased by this wild animal. And that beach had little kids on it. There was a mother with a baby in the water. I mean, if it had attacked a kid, it would have been 10 times worse than it attacking an adult. So...
And you had to go to the hospital then? I
had to go to the hospital because they were afraid of that it's rabies.
Penn Bay Medical Center, you think?
Yeah. Yep. And we still haven't found out if it is rabies. It's going to take a day or two.
Because they're testing it at the state lab.
They're stating at Augusta.
Yep.
So they said at the hospital, the doctor came in, and we were there for quite a while, and he came in and he said, I don't know how to deal with this. I've never dealt with an otter bite. And it turns out that it's a very, very rare occurrence. Christine Googled it, and what did you say? It's only been done three times, one in Canada.
It's rare.
So
I've never heard of it. 20 years we've had bear stories, moose stories, never an otter.
This thing was hissing at us like a snake.
Yeah.
So that,
Okay.
And that they were concerned.
I don't know what sounds they make. Yeah.
about the rabies, and then back at the beach before we left to go, they had to call in extra police because now they had to kill it to find out whether or not it has rabies. They have to have it tested. So they brought in reinforcements, and they were all there. And when I got to the emergency room, the doctor came in and informed me that the police had called and said that they killed it and that they had it in a cooler and they were going to take it to Augusta this morning and it was going to be tested and that we'd have the results in a day or two or whatever. And today I received from the police officer who didn't want to give me your phone number that they'll have the results by 3 o'clock tomorrow and they will call to let me know what the results are. If it is rabies, I have to go through a series of shots, and because we're on vacation and traveling, I'm only here for another few days, then we're going up to Bar Harbor, then we're going to Bangor, so I'm going to have to be going to emergency rooms in all of these places to be having these treatments, because I believe it's like a shot a week or something like that for a month, which I'm not looking forward to.
Okay.